Welcome back to the Jack and the Mac YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking every Kanye West album. To begin, though, I got to set some ground rules. We will not be counting Cruel Summer or Donda 2, as both of them I just don't really think count. Well, Cruel Summer doesn't count because it's a compilation album, and Donda 2 doesn't count because it technically never got released, though it kind of did at the same time. It's complicated. So basically, we have 14 albums, if I counted correctly. We have 4 collaborative albums and however many studio albums. I don't know, I'm not counting it again. So, yeah, let's go. To begin with the worst album of Kanye's discography, we have Vultures 2. This was a collaborative effort between Kanye and Ty Dolla $ign. To be quite honest, I don't really like this album. Actually, no shit, but how do I explain that? Basically, this album is Vultures 1, except with Carnival and any sense of good taken out of it. It's not the worst thing I've ever heard, it's just kind of a bad Kanye album, with Ty Dolla $ign sometimes jumping in and just doing Ty Dolla $ign things. I don't really know what to say here. It's a pretty bad album, but it never really gets exceptionally bad, except for like on Bomb, which is, I don't know what the hell he was trying to do there, and some other tracks. Overall, I'm going to give this album a 2 out of 10. Next up on this list, we have Vultures 1, which is basically Vultures 2, but ever so slightly better. I don't have a lot to say here. It's just, I don't know, I guess Carnival was decent for like a week until it got screwed over by TikTok trend number 8,947. That's really all I have to say. There isn't a lot to say on this record. Overall, it's a 3 out of 10. Okay, so at number 12 here we have Jesus is King by Kanye West. This is an album that I really think still had a lot of potential, but it just didn't really do a whole lot with its concept. Like, there really was a potential for a great gospel type album from Kanye. It just didn't really work here. I don't know. He should have honestly tried more with the concept, and he kind of did with Donda, but not really. So yeah, overall, I'm giving this another 3 out of 10, but it really could have been a lot better. So that's why it's over Vultures 1. Next up, we have Yay, which is a pretty well-liked album of the Kanye faithful. I don't really like this one that much. I just don't really like Kanye's vocals. I mean, the lyrics are deep, but the vocals just don't really deliver them all that well. The beats are subpar. I don't really get this album. Um, So there you go. I'm giving this album a 5 out of 10. That's it right there. Okay, now we have The Life of Pablo. It's pretty overrated. A lot of the tracks on here just don't really hit as much. For me, some tracks still hit pretty hard. It's like moments of greatness just followed by decent enough stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I'm running out of things to say. Overall, I give this album a 6 out of 10. Basically, Donda is the better edition of Jesus King, except it explores other themes that weren't explored on Jesus King. Basically, Donda, I don't have a lot to say here. It's a pretty good Kanye album, and it's the best out of, I think, the 4 most recent solo albums, which honestly just proves that after Jesus, this man just fell off pretty hard. Even then, though, this album is still very good, and I'd give it a 7 out of 10. This is, I guess, kind of the worst, quote unquote, of the Graduation trilogy. It's fine enough. That's all I need to say. Yeah, I also forgot to add the number, but it doesn't really matter. This album has a incredible first half, and then a very mediocre second half. Overall, that kind of balances out to a 7 out of 10. And also, if I didn't mention it, Late Registration is a 7 out of 10 as well. So, yeah, that's about it. This one is the best out of the Graduation trilogy. And, yeah, that's all I really have to say. It's an 8. I'm running out of things to say. I even said that already. Holy shit. Yeah, I don't know how this managed to get above all of the Graduation trilogy. It just kind of is. To be fair, it probably is slightly worse than the College Dropout, but I don't know. It just kind of. I like how Kanye, instead of doing. It sounds a lot different than, like, the previous 3 albums, which, I mean, we're all sounding a little different, but they all sort of stuck to the same formula, while 808s is kind of Kanye expanding outwards for the first time in his career, which I really respect. Still an 8 out of 10, though. That's really about it, though. Watch the Throne is honestly kind of shocking that I have to put it here, but I don't know. I just really like this album. Um, I don't know. It just kind of hit the soft spot for me. Not really in like emotionally. It just kind of works. I don't know. 8 out of 10. So Kids See Ghosts is number 3 on this list, and the reason for that is basically I like a lot of the tracks, and Reborn is probably one of the best Kanye tracks ever. And along with that, you have Cuddy Montage, Field of Love, which I actually really like. There's a bunch of tracks on here that are really goddamn good, and you know, it's seven, only really 7 tracks, so there's less of a chance for Kanye to screw anything up. So, that's good, I guess. Unlike Vultures 2, which is just overly bloated for no reason. Like, not even lengthwise, but just why are there so many tracks? Whatever. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. It's a 9 out of 10. What is there to say about My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy that hasn't been said by everyone? Except for, I guess, Anthony Fantano, but that's the pretty obvious joke to make there. Basically, this album is the only reason it's not number 1 is because A, the number 1 album is just insane. And the second reason is that a lot of the tracks there don't hit as hard as they do for some others to me, like Blame Game, for example. But yeah, other than that, still a pretty good album. Or very good, sorry. Great, masterful. 9 out of 10. This album is just such a insane ride throughout the whole thing. It is basically a mix of the industrial hip hop of Def Grips, the house, I guess, like some electronic shit, some regular hip hop. It's insane, and also some weird lyricism from Kanye, which honestly only helped the album in this case. And let me actually put my rating on screen here. This is the only one. This is the only album on this entire thing I would consider. It doesn't really matter. A 10 out of 10. Haha. I put some random text on the screen, but yeah, that's basically it. It's a 10 out of 10, the only 10 out of 10 album in Kanye's discography, to me at least at the moment. And that is basically about it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed, and goodbye.